Higgsfield's pricing has 3 different community-reported ranges, and not one of them is verified, while Claude Design's $20 at a month pro tier is right there on the official page. Pick the wrong one and you're budgeting against numbers nobody can actually confirm. Both tools are hot right now, so I ran Higgsfield versus Claude Design across 5 head-to-head tests to find out who actually wins. The modality test is still ahead, and what you ship, video, or live code decides which one you should pay for. My name is Brian, and I'm in these tools 12 hours a day, so you don't have to be. And every number in this comparison is traced back to official pricing pages, vendor docs, or verifiable press coverage. If you're shipping video assets or design-to-code workflows, picking the wrong tool costs you real money and real time. Test 1, cost. You sign up for Higgsfield at what you think is $15 a month, then 2 months in you find out the plan you actually needed is somewhere between $99 and $119, and those numbers don't even agree across sources. That's a budget blowout before you've shipped a single asset, so knowing the real entry price up front matters a lot. What I found here was pretty eye-opening. Claude Design's $20 a month pro tier is sitting right on the official pricing page, verified. Higgsfield's $15 a month starter is community reported, and the top tier bounces between $99 and $119, depending on which blog you read. So you've got 3 different ranges across 3 different sources, and none of it is from Higgsfield directly. Claude Design takes cost, and the gap turned out to be about trust, not just price. Knowing what you'll pay before you commit is worth a lot. Claude Design's $20 a month is on the page. Higgsfield's numbers are all over the place, and that puts Claude Design on the board first, 1-0. Test 2, coding benchmark performance. A solo developer picking a design-to-code tool needs a number to hang a decision on, and if one tool scores 20 points higher on a coding benchmark, that's the decision made. The problem is when you go looking for that number and it just isn't there, you're flying blind on one of the most important specs in the whole comparison. What surprised me is how empty the data is. I looked for a published coding benchmark for both tools and came up with nothing on either side. Claude Design runs on Opus 4.7, which is Anthropic's top vision model, so the underlying model is at least identified, but a design-specific coding score? I couldn't find one. Higgsfield has no coding model identified at all, and both cards on screen show no published figure. To be fair, these 2 tools aren't really competing for the same coding job. Higgsfield is a video generation suite, so the absence of a coding benchmark makes sense, and Claude Design runs on Opus 4.7 with a design-to-code workflow, but Anthropic hasn't published a score specific to that task yet, so they're just 2 different products with different scopes and no shared measuring stick. This one's a tie. No published benchmark score for either side, so neither earns the point, and the score stays at Claude Design 1, Higgsfield 0, 1 tied. Neither company has put a number out yet for this specific use case, which makes it pretty hard to call. Test 3, speed. The number that jumps out here is 1.5 times faster, which is what Higgsfield claims for its turbo model compared to its own standard model. And that sounds like a real edge until you realize Claude Design's speed claim is about design iteration cycles, not raw video processing. So these 2 are measuring completely different things, and that changes what the number actually means for you. I went looking for a comparable speed metric, and I couldn't find one. Higgsfield's turbo claim is vendor stated, meaning it's 1.5 times faster than Higgsfield's own standard model, not faster than Claude Design. And Claude Design's speed story is about cutting the time between a described idea and a clickable draft, which is a design iteration claim, not a processing benchmark. So there's no apples-to-apples number on screen here. The hard truth is this test just can't be scored fairly. Higgsfield generates video clips and charges per second of output. Claude Design produces design assets and code, and comparing their speed is kind of like timing a chef and a carpenter and asking who's faster, because both might be fast at their own job, but the jobs aren't the same, so the clock doesn't mean the same thing. Speed is another tie. No comparable metric, so no winner, and the score stays Claude Design 1, Higgsfield 0, 2 tests tied now. Higgsfield's turbo claim just doesn't count without a shared benchmark to measure it against. Alright, So we've got cost and 2 ties on the board, but the tests that actually decide your workflow are still coming. Context and output limits is next, and that one tells you exactly how much work each tool can hold in one session before it starts costing you extra. And after that, deployment and modality, which is where the real gap between these two tools gets impossible to ignore. Test 4, context and output limits. You're mid-project, you've fed a tool 50 design revisions, and it starts losing track of your earlier decisions because it hit a wall you didn't know existed. That's what happens when context limits aren't published upfront, and for Claude Design, every revision regenerates output and grows the context, which means token costs stack up fast on long projects. Claude Design has a verified 200K token context window across all plans, which is a real concrete number you can plan around. But Higgsfield doesn't publish a context window at all because it bills per second of video, not per token, so the output unit is totally different. Claude Design's token usage gets steep fast since every revision regenerates the full output, but at least the 200K ceiling is confirmed. Context and output limits is a tie. Claude Design wins on transparency with its 200K token window, but Higgsfield's per second billing is actually simpler to predict for video work. So neither one dominates overall, and the score stays Claude Design 1, Higgsfield 0, 3, tied now. The billing model difference made it a wash. Test 5, deployment and modality. Both tools do creative AI, so they probably cover the same ground, right? They really don't. Higgsfield runs 30 plus video models and 40 plus creative tools under one subscription. Claude Design is a design canvas that syncs with Claude Code, and these are not the same product wearing different labels. So I looked at what each tool actually covers. Higgsfield has video, image, and audio generation, a cinema studio, API access, MCP, and CLI, and it pulls in models like Sora 2, Veo 3.1, and Kling 3.0, which is a wide net. Claude Design has a design canvas, image generation, and a unique /design sync command that bridges directly into Claude Code for implementation, so both have developer access, but the output types are totally different. Deployment and modality is a tie too, and that's the honest call. Higgsfield wins on raw modality breadth, 30 plus video models and 40 plus tools. Claude Design wins on the design to code bridge with /design sync, and neither one is better overall because they're not doing the same job. So the score ends Claude Design 1, Higgsfield 0, 4 tests tied. Higgsfield wins on modality breadth, full stop. 30 plus video models including Sora 2, Veo 3.1, and Kling 3.0, plus 40 plus creative tools under one subscription. And it charges per second of video, which is way easier to predict for video-heavy workflows, and you get API, MCP, and CLI access for programmatic video generation at scale. Claude Design wins on transparency and the design-to-code workflow. Its $20 a month pro pricing is on the official page, no guessing. The 200K token context window is verified across all plans, and the /design sync command with Claude Code is a unique bridge that Higgsfield just doesn't have. So if you need a visual design turned into working code, Claude Design is the only path here. Okay, so the overall result is Claude Design 1, Higgsfield 0, 4 ties, and the score almost doesn't matter because these tools don't compete. If you need video, Higgsfield is the only option here. 30 plus models under one subscription. If you need design to code, Claude Design is it. Pick based on your output. Video equals Higgsfield. Design to code equals Claude Design. That's the whole decision. If you're still deciding between AI coding tools and want to see how a free local stack holds up against a paid option, I just put out a video called DeepSeek V4 Pro versus Claude Code, where I ran both through real tasks and the results were pretty interesting. So that one's worth watching next if you're trying to cut your monthly AI bill.